here's the thing that I don't understand. I think we all want to keep people employed, and we all want to keep the airlines in the sky and the planes flying so that when the economy does recover, it will help make the recovery even better. What I don't understand is why the taxpayer should be subsidizing the shareholders of these airlines in any way whatsoever. It baffles my mind that I, as a taxpayer in America, should be subsidizing a shareholder of an airline. Can you, specifically a shareholder of an airline as opposed to a shareholder of a private restaurant or another company or what have you? Can you explain why that would be necessary?
So let's be really clear. This is not propping up the shareholders. In fact, our program bans stock buybacks and dividends. And this is a payroll pass-through, so that keeps people connected to their jobs. As long as we have for-profit, employer-based health care in this country, you got to keep people in their jobs to keep them also connected to their health care. And the analysis on this is that it's 100% return to the taxpayers, because you have people who are continuing to pay into the system, who are continuing to contribute to the economy, and we keep service to all of our communities. So this is another piece that's really, really important in terms of fighting the virus.
Can you just hold on for a second? You called it a pass-through. If the money were not to come, the airlines would file for bankruptcy, or would be forced to file, likely be forced to file for bankruptcy, or find private capital. If they didn't do those things, it wouldn't. That's what. When you said it's a pass-through, I don't understand. I understand the idea of a pass-through, that some of it's going to go to the employees, but ultimately the whole thing doesn't work, and therefore the shareholders get injured. Correct?
No, actually, this is what we're doing: is that this money is allocated just to go to payroll and to benefits. It can only be spent on that. It can't be spent on anything else. So this is really a jobs program to keep people in their jobs. And that's why it's a direct return to the taxpayers. So this keeps the airlines intact, keeps them from filing for bankruptcy. We've been through that before. And the public gets hurt with that. Consumers get hurt with that. The shareholders get hurt with that. That's what we want to avoid happening here. And this keeps the airlines intact, in place, able to serve all the communities that they were serving before.
And you're telling me that
requirement
but
goes
therefore
away
the
on
shareholders are
October 1st.
beneficiary of this. The idea that the shareholders not a beneficiary of this is crazy. Because
well,
the airline
is that a bad thing, Andrew? Is that a bad thing? But the point is, the point of this program is to keep people in their jobs.
I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's an unfair thing if we're deciding that we're effectively going to advantage certain shareholders over other shareholders. Yes, that would actually be a bad thing. Do I want shareholders to lose their money? No, nobody wants that. But at a time when we're trying to figure out how to save people, look, I think a lot of people are happy to help people with unemployment insurance so that people can get by. The idea that I'm going to subsidize effectively a hedge fund manager who's decided to make a bet that the airlines are going to be rescued by the government, that's not something that most people are going to think is very fair.
Well, I think if you live in the world of hedge fund managers, that's one thing. But I live in the world of real people who are counting on this to stay in their jobs and connected to their health care. The additional $600 is saving a lot of people, but it's not keeping them connected to their health care. It's not keeping them connected to their job. And we need to keep this vital industry in place with everyone in place who are credentialed employees. We're going to have a hard time starting up the industry again. But this is a jobs program. If hedge fund managers are betting on this, that's one thing. But the people that I represent are betting on having a job. We're going to have mass layoffs October 1st, just weeks before the election, if this is not continued. It's been incredibly successful. It is focused only on the employees, keeping them in place, keeping their jobs in place, their paychecks going, and their health care continued in a pandemic. These are essential workers who are being supported by this program, and that's what it's for. It's not for the airlines. It is for the workers on the front lines who deserve to have that protection. We have talked about the fact that we should be giving essential workers more pay during this time, and we have not done that as a country. What we need to do is shore up from the ground up. We also have to have the ability for people to buy tickets on the other side of this. I am hearing from fiscal conservatives across Congress right now. Now is the time to spend. Because the longer we go on without spending, without shoring people up, without keeping people in their jobs and doing everything we can to do that, and then using the safety nets where that doesn't exist, then we are going to have extended hurt, because as people fall behind and they fall behind on their bills, their debt grows larger and they're not able to recover. And that hurts the entire economy. So this is a very good use of taxpayer dollars and the public's money. And it comes right back to the public. That's been proven. We have the facts on that. And this has been actually more effective, more cost effective even than the $600 because it's less and it also keeps people connected to that health care.